Ray Brown's Talking Birds.
Made possible by the generous support of the Birdwatchers General Store, Orleans, Cape Cod. Birdwatchersgeneralstore.com.
By Vortex Optics with the VIP warranty. Their unlimited lifetime promise to keep you and your optic covered. Learn more at vortexoptics.com. And by Hog Island Audubon Camp. For full camp schedule, program details, and to register, visit hogisland.audubon.org.
Good morning, afternoon, or evening, and welcome to our show number 1046, during which we'll learn from the Cornell Lab of Ornithology's Maya Thompson about a new tool to make us all better birders. That's not peanuts, but Mike O'Connor's topic today is peanuts. Peanuts for birds, that is. Also on today's show, an eastern screech owl, audio postcard, and some cool bird observations from Costa Rica. Meanwhile, we are smack in the middle of Plastic-Free July, representing a worldwide effort to fight back against the wild overproduction of plastic. That's resulting in more than 11 million tons of plastic entering our oceans every year. Last week's show, we spoke to Eve Fox from the plastic pollution fighting group Beyond Plastics. Just wanted to follow up on that by mentioning their website, which is a great place to visit to learn some very practical ideas on how to reduce your use of plastic. Their site is beyondplastics.org, plastics with an S, beyondplastics.org. Well, here comes an audio postcard from the Garden State.
Good morning, Talking Birds flock. This is Catherine Kowalczyk out at Garrett Mountain, New Jersey. I'm currently looking at 3 little screech owlets. This is the second year in a row that Garrett Mountain has been successful with baby screech owls. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Catherine. Audio postcards, welcome at this address, ray@talkingbirds.com. Just make a little recording of yourself describing birds you're seeing or hearing and email the file. Again, it's ray@talkingbirds.com. And speaking of cool birds, we received a note this week from Tommy Johnson from Brighton, Illinois. He says, guess what bird I saw? A keel-billed toucan. That's what bird. You may have heard that. He says, I saw it in San Ramon, Costa Rica, in flight. I may have already shared this story with you, in which case, sorry about that. I don't think you did share it previously, Tommy, so thank you for doing it. Tommy also says that he was visited by a white-throated magpie jay in Guanacaste, Costa Rica. What a sight, he says, and what noise. Whoa! Bird as laser there, the white-throated magpie jay. Thank you, Tommy. Well, if you're listening to our show live, you're in good position to take part in our Mystery Bird Contest. Here's a preview of today's installment, kind of an insect-sounding bird here, but a pretty familiar one, I think. Little detail on that bird, warming up for our Mystery Bird Contest a little bit later. It's a robin-sized ground-dwelling bird with a plump body, short legs, a large rounded head, and a long straight bill. Its mottled brown plumage helps it blend in with the colors of the forest floor. It's found in brushy habitats, mostly in the eastern half of North America, and most often seen at dusk in mating season when the male's aerial displays attract attention. That's a main clue there. We'll give another clue if we need to, but we might not need to for that mystery bird, but we'll see. The Mystery Bird Contest coming along just a little bit later on. Here's a salute to one of our great Talking Birds ambassadors. They are listeners who have stepped up to the level where they're helping us spread the word about our show. And thank you to Jessica Hatfield from Florence, Massachusetts. That's Hadfield with a D. Jessica says, I have a pond in my backyard and enjoy seeing birds throughout the year, to include the great blue heron, finches of all kinds, ducks, and more. I frequently take pictures of all the wildlife and animals in my pond. That is very cool. Thank you so much, Jessica, for becoming a Talking Birds ambassador. Talking Birds listeners, we would like to invite you to join Jessica in the ever-growing Talking Birds family. To join up, just click on the Get Involved tab up at the top of the talkingbirds.com website home page. We think it's a really good thing to do, and it's very easy. Still to come today, the Cornell Lab of Ornithology's Maya Thompson will tell us about a new learning tool for birders called BirdWise. Also today, Mike O'Connor will join us for Let's Ask Mike Live on the topic of goober peas, better known as peanuts, as food for backyard birds. And up next, keeping with that food theme, a species whose familiar flight song causes some folks to call it the potato chip bird, is this week's featured feathered friend.
We've only just begun.
There's a song snippet that's kind of timely for today's featured feathered friend, the lively yellow bird with black wings and white wing bars, known as the American goldfinch. Because here in the month of July, many American goldfinches have only just begun to nest. And there's a reason for this late nesting habit. American goldfinches are among the strictest vegetarians in the bird world, and they even provide a vegetarian diet of regurgitated seeds to their nestlings. Feeding only seeds would seem to predict a protein deficit for the chicks, but it turns out that seeds from plants like thistle, milkweed, and sunflower, which they favor, have a surprisingly high protein content, as well as high levels of fats, carbohydrates, and vitamins. And there's another benefit to this seed-feeding practice concerning an occasional avian parasite, the brown-headed cowbird, known for depositing its eggs in other birds' nests. The large cowbird nestlings often get an unfair share of food from unsuspecting parents, risking starvation for the other chicks. But baby cowbirds can't thrive on a diet of seeds, so a cowbird nestling in an American goldfinch nest is unlikely to survive. American goldfinches undergo a complete molting of feathers. For 6 to 8 weeks, starting in September, they molt all of their feathers, ending up with a new, duller plumage as they head into winter. In spring, they grow new body feathers again, with the males transforming into their familiar bright yellow breeding plumage. Our bird's scientific name has Latin roots, with the genus name Spinus referring to a bird that eats flaxseed, and the species-specific name Tristis, meaning sad, alluding to a mournful note sometimes heard in its song. A bird known over most of the U.S. and parts of Canada and Mexico, and serving as the official bird of the widely separated states of New Jersey, Iowa, and Washington. It's Spinus tristis, today's featured feathered friend, the American goldfinch. Welcome again to our show number 1046. Maya Thompson is a founder of the Cornell Lab of Ornithology's Bird Academy online learning platform, and now serves as co-director for engagement in science and nature for the Cornell Lab. She is all about helping people learn about birds and nature, and her most recent learning tool is BirdWise, which she and the team have been working on over the past few years. It was just released this spring, and she's with us to tell us a bit about it. Good morning, Maya.
Good morning, Ray. Good to see you and be here.
Good to have you back. We were just talking off the air about how long it's been since you've been on the show, so glad to have you back after a number of years. Well, tell us a bit, Maya, about the process of creating the tool over that several-year period.
Absolutely. So BirdWise is a quizzing tool that you can use on your phone or on your computer. And the reason why we developed it over the period of years is we had been working diligently, and these are very popular, on online courses through the Bird Academy platform. And we're all about empathy with the learner. We start all of our courses and our processes with, okay, what does the learner need? What does the learner need? And for so many years, we heard that what the learner wants is to be able to quiz themselves on a set of birds that is specific to their current interest, or maybe they're about to travel and they're going to see new birds. They want to customize their quizzing. And so we started that process of figuring out how to do that. And you know, that process takes time. It takes another thing, which is really good media. So when you have a quizzing tool, which is about visual quizzing of birds, you need good photos. And at the Lab of Ornithology, we are all about people power, and we have this amazing platform called eBird, which now has 2 billion observations in it.
Wow.
And a few years ago, eBird allowed people to start uploading photos as part of their checklists. And so now, when we look at how many photos we have to use in this amazing platform, we have 77 million photos around the world. So you can imagine our delight as at the same time that people are asking us, we want to be quizzed on just the species we want, or just the habitat we want, or just, the state we want. Well, now we have photos, not just one or two, but photos from all across the range, all different lightings, all different qualities. And so it's like you get this ability to really learn like people do in the field, on your own pace, at your own time.
Pretty amazing. Well, who is Birdwise for, Maya? Beginners, intermediate level, experienced birders?
Excellent question. Well, all of us who are interested in birds have this experience at some point of saying, wow, I really want to practice that. And so it actually does work for everyone from beginners to experts. So for example, people who are just starting out, they may be just tuning into birds, and all they want to do is learn what are the most common birds in my state, for example, can do that. We actually have a backyard bird quiz that can be tailored to just where you are. And so you can start that very beginner. Now, we also have people who are using Birdwise who are at a totally different point in their birding journey, who might want to be looking at learning those confusing sparrows, for example. Someone told me recently that they wanted to learn their night jars. These are staff members at the Cornell Lab. We had a staff member tell us, like, there's also stats within the platform, and so he said, "Oh, I love Birdwise so much. I did 1,000 questions this week."
Oh my goodness! Wow, there's something to shoot for. So customized for your state or region by habitat, particular species that somebody might find especially challenging to work on. And by the way, you can sign up for a free sample, right, of 35 species. But then if you subscribe, you can unlock more, 640 species.
That's right. So you can just play. You can go in and play with the 35 species, even without logging in. And if you log in, then you can actually track your progress. And then if you subscribe, yes, you can get all those 640 plus species that are in the US and Canada commonly, and you can go crazy from there.
Oh, crazy. What was the fee for the subscription of all 640?
Yeah, if you go monthly, we have $5.99 monthly. So you can try it out for a month. And yearly, you get a little bit of a discount. So at yearly, it's $59.88, which works out to about $4.99 a month. But for this lovely occasion, talking with you, Ray, we've put it on sale. So if you go for a yearly subscription, you'll get 20% off.
Wow, that's beautiful, and we're honored by that. By the way, Maya, I picked a stilt sandpiper quiz. Great. Where I'm asked to say which of the two photos shown depicts a stilt sandpiper. But the cool thing is that there's a whole series of comparison pictures. So you see the bird from different angles, different poses, all that, and so on. And you get a really good idea what the bird really looks like out in the field, instead of just having one photo, for example. And I'm not going to reveal my score, by the way, but I did okay. I did okay. Birdwise, Maya, is described as meeting an unmet need that supports learners in their progression from initial curiosity, which you talked about, to becoming committed stewards of birds and nature. Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Absolutely. So, here at the Lab of Ornithology, and especially in the Center of Engagement in Science and Nature, we really think about the journey that people go through when they're connecting with birds and nature. And of course, that journey always starts with some kind of spark moment. Then it develops. If things go well, it develops into deeper understanding. So we're really, with Birdwise, really helping people develop their understanding of what they're curious about from that spark moment. And then from there, lots of great things can happen. And what we talk about is a cycle where you go from spark to understanding. Then you can participate. So we have many participatory science projects like eBird, like Feeder Watch. And then from there, what we know is that's a kind of a special sauce for people to become stewards and to become bird-friendly in their actions. So that last piece in the cycle is called ACT. And you can imagine that once you're connected with birds, you know about birds. This can be birds, this can be plants, anything, right? And then you started actually observing them and sharing your data with a global community. You are so primed to understand what's so important and why we need to take bird-friendly conservation action.
Well, this is a marvelous program, to be sure, by Birdwise. How do folks sign up?
Yes. So if you go to, I have a quick link for you. It's a bit.ly link. So you go to bit.ly/Birdwise, and you can get all the information right there.
All right. Could you say that once again?
Absolutely. That is bit.ly/Birdwise.
All right. Maya Thompson is all about helping people learn about birds and nature. And her most recent learning tool is Birdwise. It is phenomenal. Maya, thanks for telling us about the course, which I, and I hope many, many other folks will engage in.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
Up next, it's our Mystery Bird contest in just 1 minute. The flutter of a tail feather, the flash of a wing bar in mid-flight. You don't always have a lot of time to identify a bird in nature, let alone to appreciate its beauty. But with Vortex Optics, you'll have the power to bring every wild moment closer. When you choose Vortex, you're choosing to have a partner in the field as passionate about nature as you are. Whether you're spotting old friends on the backyard feeder or packing for a once-in-a-lifetime trip to add a few species to your life list, Vortex offers a full range of optics and optics accessories for every birder and every budget. And whether the birds are taking you to another state or another country, you're always covered by the Vortex VIP warranty, an unlimited lifetime promise to keep you and your optic covered. If you'd like to learn more, or if you need help choosing your next optic, give Vortex a call at 1-800-4VORTEX or visit vortexoptics.com. There's that sort of insect-sounding mystery bird. And before we delve deeper into the contest, just a reminder that if you'd like to be in on our Mystery Bird contest, listen live to the show. You can do that anywhere on the planet. If you go to talkingbirds.com and click on the Listen tab, you'll see how to do it. It's really easy to do it from anywhere. Our show is live on Sunday mornings, 9:30 Eastern. You heard the sound or some of the sounds of our mystery bird. It's a robin-sized, ground-dwelling bird with a plump body and short legs, a large rounded head, and a long straight bill. Its mottled brown plumage helps it blend in with the colors of the forest floor. It's found in brushy habitats, mostly in the eastern half of North America, and most often seen at dusk in mating season, when the male's aerial displays attract attention. Here's a clue we didn't give earlier. Our bird's large eyes are positioned high up and near the back of their skull. That's high up and near the back of their skull. This lets them keep watch for danger in the sky while they have their heads down, probing in the soil for food. Some pretty good clues there in the sound of our mystery bird. All you need to do is tell us what it is or take your guess. No correct answer means a drawing will determine our winner, so do give us a call at your earliest opportunity on our mystery bird contest. Here is the number at 781-837-4900. That's 781-837-4900. And it's Mike O'Connor live. Coming up next, let's ask Mike in just 1 minute. Hog Island Audubon Camp has welcomed nature enthusiasts to its shores since 1936. It's a program of the Seabird Institute, and the island hosts 5-night sessions for adults, teens, and families taught by the world's leading naturalists, ornithologists, and artists. Hog Island campers deepen their relationships with the birds and the ecosystems around them during the island's immersive educational camps. New for the 2025 camp season is Let's Go Birding Together. Scheduled during peak fall migration, this session is a safe space for queer birders to connect with nature and each other while learning ways to foster a similar environment in their community's home. For full Hog Island schedule, program details, and to register, visit hogisland.audubon.org. We have a special intro for Mike because of the subject matter this morning. Are we ready? Here we go.
Goodness, how delicious, eating goober peas. Peas, 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 delicious goober peas.
That's right, goober peas. Up north here, we call them peanuts. Let's see if Mike also calls them that, or maybe he calls them goober peas. Good morning, Mike.
Goodness, how delicious, eating goober peas.
Can anybody dispute that? I'll tell you, that's Tennessee Ernie said that, so it must be true. That's what I figured.
Tennessee Ernie, oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm talking about peanuts today. That's my favorite feeder this year. I've got this bird feeder that offers peanuts for birds, not the planter's kind with honey roasted or spice on them or salt or anything added. But they sell peanuts we call without the shell. Mm-hmm. And they sell them for birds, and I put them in this feeder. It looks like a regular tube feeder, but instead of being of clear plastic, it's made out of like hardware cloth with maybe a quarter-inch.
So the birds can just kind of poke in there.
Right. They don't take the whole peanut out. Yeah. Right. They just poke out little bits at a time. And right now I've got a family of blue jays lined up, but there's a young baby red-bellied woodpecker with no red on its head or its belly, and it's dominating the thing. But it's been so popular this year. The baby flickers. There's been chickadees on it, and the nuthatches come in, and the flickers come in. Did I say flickers already? But they're just, it's just been lined up. I put it out like in the spring, and it's been, and it'll last, instead of like my regular seed feeder, I have to fill just about every day, but this might go 4 or 5 days because it takes them a while, and it's really a good feeder. I have it on a post with a squirrel guard, so the squirrels aren't a problem. And this feeder is made by a company called Aspects and has an easy clean out at the bottom. And because there's no shells on the peanuts, they could, and it gets wet, if it's a rainy time, they get a little mushy. So this bottom pops out so you can clean it out real well. So you have to kind of pay attention to that. But other than that, it's a big hit. And I just tried a new feeder one day, and boy, it's been popular. Now you can take peanuts that are still in the shell and put those out, and they make feeders for that. But I don't really care for those because the shells and the peanuts are so large that once the birds pull them out, you'd be filling it every 5 minutes. So I just take a tray and put that out there. And that seems surprisingly, unbelievably popular with the shells on them for blue jays, but surprisingly titmice. Titmice just seem to just go nuts for, I made a joke there, right? Go nuts for these peanuts.
That was a nut joke. Did you get that? A nut joke. Yeah.
And they grab the little, you know how like peanuts, they have that little dry part at the end, the stem, and they grab that and they take off and they eat that. And so in honor of the late Jimmy Carter, we're doing a lot of peanut work here, and it's great. And unfortunately, none of these birds seem to have a peanut allergy, so that's working out.
You know, a long time ago, we tried to get the former president on the show because we wanted to. He was a big bird watcher, as was his wife, and we really wanted to ask him about peanuts because he would have had something to say about that. I'm sure.
Is that true?
It's really true. We tried through the Carter Center a number of times after his presidency, of course, and but we never could quite make the connection. He was a pretty busy,
so
man.
The second best is me.
That's right. Exactly. I have it written down here. It was in the order of interest right there. Yeah. So you can use the shells when you put them in the peanut feeder. What did you say? They're split, or they're kind of like whole peanuts just split.
But and pay attention to that. Get the peanuts that you sell at a grain place or a birding store. Don't take the ones from your peanut bowl when the company doesn't finish them. They have salt and they have oils on them.
Mm-hmm.
Birds don't need that. They certainly don't need the honey roasted or anything like that. But you can get them at a birding store or a grain store, and we call them peanut splits. So they cut it in half. Don't get peanut hearts. That's these little tiny nubs. The birds don't seem to like those.
You don't want that.
But right now I got a baby blue jay just having the best time.
Chowing down on them goober peas. So,
for goober peas, you went Tennessee. Ernie Ford.
All right. Thank you, Mike. Do you want to hear the Goober Peas song again, or?
Yeah, you know what? I'll do it later.
Do it later on. Yeah, we'll just do this one instead this time. All right. Thank you, Mike.
Okay, talk to you next week.
Mike O'Connor, the famous Birdwatchers General Store, Cape Cod, Massachusetts. Meanwhile, we're back here at the Mystery Bird Contest, and we're going for this kind of insect-sounding bird here that we saw. A lot of people know what this bird is, but we'll see who's first with that. I think we have Tyler in the great state of Rhode Island, the ocean state there. Hello, Tyler.
Hello.
Hi, Tyler. You heard the clues and all that from our mystery bird contest. What say you?
I think it's either the American woodcock or the timberdoodle.
Or the timberdoodle, and we have other nicknames for them, which I can't think of right at the moment. But you're absolutely. Yeah, the timberdoodle is a popular nickname for the American woodcock. Absolutely right. Nice job. Would you like to try our mystery bird bonus question, Tyler, now while you're here?
Sure.
Okay, and this is for one of our feather-friendly kits to protect your windows or protect your birds from crashing into your windows. This is kind of a conservation in the news question. For the first time in more than a century, locals and tourists in Paris will be able to do something they weren't allowed to do for more than 100 years. What is that thing that they can now do? A, ride bicycles through the center of the city. B, do bird watching from the Eiffel Tower. Or C, swim in the Seine, the great river flowing through the city. Which of those three things do you think it is? It's one of those. Tyler?
I think it's C.
That would be swimming in the Seine. Absolutely right, yeah.
Yeah, they did that for the Olympics.
Absolutely, yeah, exactly right. They did a $1.5 billion cleanup of the river that, as you just said, Tyler, made it suitable for Olympic competition last year. So now they have 3 new swimming sites on the Paris riverbank that were just recently opened. One is close to the restored Notre Dame Cathedral, another near the Eiffel Tower, and a third in eastern Paris. Well, that is pretty cool, and you have that right, and the other one's right as well. So thank you so much, Tyler. You've got them all right there. We have some beautiful prizes for you, and Jesse will arrange that for you if you'll stay on the line there.
Will do. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Tyler. Down in Rhode Island, correctly identifying the American woodcock or the timberdoodle, and also got our right answer on our bonus question. We are so out of time for this morning. We'll get to work on our next week's show right away. Thank you for being with us this time, and thanks to our great Talking Birds team, Debbie Bleacher, Freya McGregor, our producing engineer, Jesse Wilkins. I'm Ray Brown. See you next week.
The bird show. I like that. I love it.
Ray Brown's Talking Birds.
Made possible by the generous support of the Birdwatchers General Store, Orleans, Cape Cod. Birdwatchersgeneralstore.com.
By Vortex Optics with the VIP warranty. Their unlimited lifetime promise to keep you and your optic covered. Learn more at vortexoptics.com. And by Hog Island Audubon Camp. For full camp schedule, program details, and to register, Visit hogisland.audubon.org.